There's one thing that all golfers want, and they say a lot of people will want this, some people actually need this, but this driver I've got in my golf bag today states to be the best in that department. But what department is that? And that department is distance, and the longest rated driver by My Golf Spy is the Titleist GT2. So if you're looking for more distance, and I would say 95% of golfers, if you ask them what do they want in their golf game, a lot of you will be there going, I just want to hit it a little bit further, and especially with this club right here, the driver. We all want to hit it past our playing partners. Just like myself, I always want to hit it past James Robinson. We know that none of us, or neither of us, can hit it past Bobby, who is on the camera today. But this driver could potentially help. So let's put that to the test out here on a few holes here at Lindrick. We're going to talk about the technology in this driver, but see how it performs. So a nice draw there, and that is very much on a tiger line here from the blue tees on the second. So will that be far enough? So that's the big first test for that. I've really taken on quite a tight line there, but with my driver that I've been using, the Strixon ZXi LS, I've been getting into a good position there and having a short pitch shot in. But how will this do? And this was ranked obviously highly by My Golf Spy, and you will have seen on the channel a couple of weeks ago, I did have the most accurate driver. So the most accurate driver was a Tour Edge Exotics. It was a 300-pound driver, but there's one thing it was missing. Although it was accurate, it did help me hit a few more fairways, there was one elephant in the room, and that was certainly why potentially I wouldn't put that into the golf bag. But one big thing with that was price. If we talk about price now, we know that a Titleist driver with an upgraded shaft, potentially, maybe not your standard shaft in there, will be around about £600, $600. So double the price of a driver that was claimed to be the #1 ranked for accuracy. So what are you trying to get from your driver? And if you're looking for a new driver, are you looking for more forgiveness? Are you looking for more distance? Are you looking for more accuracy? Or are you looking for the full package? Because this does state that it's the longest, but it's not #1 in other departments. So again, that's another great line there, a little bit more safe. Let's see where that is. And that is bang in the middle of the fairway in position A. So straight away there, you can see the strikes haven't been perfect. They have been towards the toe. We've got that nice little draw there, but we are starting to see that we are getting quite a good distance. And on this hole into the breeze from the blue tees, driver is the play, because it gets us past that bunker down there on the right hand side. So we need something to make sure it does get past there. I think if I was on this tee shot with the most accurate driver that My Golf Spy ranked, that would potentially bring in that bunker even if I hit a good shot, because that's right at that 265, 270 number, which is exactly where that Tour Edge Exotics was going. And this is where you need to think about your golf course and what you need. And a toey strike there again, but that is pretty forgiving. Not as long as that second shot, because that was struck a little bit more towards the centre. So we'll see how much distance we have lost, because after all, if we're getting the longest drives we potentially hit, we all know that we do like to hit different parts of the face, and that one was close to missing the face. How much distance have we lost? Because would that have a massive effect on you potentially buying this driver? Let's get up there and then we'll get some numbers. So straight away up here we come to the first golf ball, which was the misstruck shot. And we can see clearly there is a big difference between that and the second drive that I hit. So I would say there is over 40 yards difference in there. So when you're thinking about drivers, you've got to think about what are you trying to achieve. Like we said there, still going down the middle, it's still in play, I can still reach the green, there's nothing wrong with that. But quickly off an off-centred strike, maybe the ball speed's not as fast as some other drivers, and that's a big difference. If there's trouble in the way there, a misstruck shot is going to be quite short. I can't see where the first one has gone, but we will walk up here now and have a quick look. So Guys, if you're looking for Titleist drivers, which Titleist drivers are you looking to test? Is it the new Mini driver, the 280, or is it one of the current lineups? Obviously, we saw in the Masters, I believe it was Justin Rose was still using the old model. So is the old model a little bit hotter? But we can see straight away up there, I would be more than happy with that drive. In position A, that's 2 fairways out of 3 shots. So again, accuracy-wise, if I put a good swing on it, we can hit fairways, we can hit a good distance, but that forgiveness certainly has a big drop-off. So here's a good hole for us to test this driver out. So the longest driver, ranked number 1, is this Titleist GT2. And you can see on the previous hole, we hit some fantastic drives with that. One thing was the sound for me. It did sound a little bit more tinny or a louder, more old-fashioned ping sound than I thought it would. But what are the numbers going to say? Can we get this up close to your 280 yards carry, going around about 300 or just under? And are we sacrificing any forgiveness and accuracy with it being the longest? Interesting, straight away there, I nearly missed that. That's off the toe, but that's gone straight up the middle of the fairway. The numbers exactly like I'd expect there. 272 carry, running out to 285, but that came off that bit at the end of the club. So certainly very interesting there. We still have got some forgiveness. It has gone in the fairway, so we definitely take that. Nearly 10 yards down on what I would expect, but from that strike, it's exactly what you should be getting. So let's see if we can find the middle. Right, I found the middle there, but I have turned that up the left-hand side slightly. And numbers there, 285 carry, because it was a slight pull, and it has ran over 300 yards. So 303 yards there, but unfortunately, that could be a lost ball. And as you know, we can't blame the driver for that. That's probably me trying to get this over 300 yards because I know it's the longest driver of 2025. And that's something that you need to consider when you're going for a driver fitting. What are you trying to achieve? Because you can see the strike there, that was the first one over here, and that was one there. So it was more myself closing that club face down, but is that a result of me knowing that it should be going the longest that I've tested all year? That's the big question, and is that something that we all end up doing in fittings? Okay, so up the right hand side there, stay bullet straight, a little bit of a block, a classic counter of the one that's gone left, but that's fine, that's up there in the right semi-rough. And straight away there, a good strike, just blocked into the breeze, 282 carry going 295. So right at the numbers that I would expect. Playing tough, strikes weren't perfect, but that has performed exactly as I would expect. But how does it do on a narrower hole when you need it to perform? And for me guys, My Golf Spy do some very in-depth testing, and I would say it's one of the best testing systems out there. And if you're looking for products and you want to maybe read a little bit more, then I would certainly head over there, because this is where I found these tests and where was ranked number 1. And this is something that you maybe need to think about when you go for a fitting. What are you taking into account when you go into that? Are you thinking you need more forgiveness, you need more distance? What are you looking for? Do you need more accuracy? Do you need a 10k inertia driver like we've seen from that number 1 ranked Tour Edge Exotic a couple of weeks ago? Because these are all things that you need to take into consideration when we're spending between 300 or 250 pounds all the way up to 700 pounds, depending what shaft you have in there. You need to be going in and think about what you exactly need and what are you working on. Are you having lessons and trying to improve? Because that could make a big decision on what driver you go into, so you're not having to change again in 6 months' time. And I just wanted to show this before we go to that narrow hole, but this is a prime example of, we can see 2 GT Titleist drivers, the number 1 ranked, the longest driver of 2025, and the one on the left is the Tour Edge Exotics E725, the most accurate. Which one would you go for if you had to choose? So exactly the numbers we would expect from this driver. So we know that it's still performing, the distance is good. We saw that I did hit one left, and that is down to myself, that's down to my technique, not the driver. But we certainly saw on the first hole in this video that forgiveness wise, if you do hit it out of the centre, it can have a very big quick drop off. But this is a hole where you do use driver, it is quite narrow. A lot of people again would probably be thinking, it's not a hole that I would like to tee off, but in a couple of weeks there'll be 160 something participants playing in open qualifying off this tee. Most of them won't be maybe hitting driver, but I'm sure that'll be because of how tight this is. But we're going to hit driver here, we're going to see how it performs again. So drawing left, that'll be in the left rough. Certainly looks to come off nice and fast, and that's what we've seen with this driver, is the ball speed does seem to come off exactly how you would expect, and exactly what my Golf Spy did find. And that test obviously is with different golfers as well, so they're testing a lot of the products, hitting thousands and thousands of shots to get their results. And this is where, for me, my Golf Spy, if you're thinking about buying any clubs, if you're looking to see maybe what a review of any certain thing is, I would head over there. Even if it's a golf ball, maybe even golf bags, golf shoes, that's all things that they do look into, put through their paces to give you a good honest review. So let's go 2 more. So just clip that tree, but drawing back nicely, a nice high towering draw, straight over that bunker and into a great position there to reach this par 5 in 2. And after all, that's exactly what we're expecting from a driver that has a good distance on it, because we're wanting to get to maybe par 5s in 2, or maybe those long par 4s that you've always struggled with. You getting that extra 10-15 yards could make it much easier for you to get on that green in 2 and have a better chance of lowering your scores. So 1 more. So again, starting right and drawing back there, and that is another good shot down there. So for me, this GT2 certainly has shown that it is probably one of the longest drivers out there. It does make a huge difference getting the correct shaft in there, so make sure you go and get fitted, get the correct shaft, and potentially this could be the longest driver for you. But it all depends on your strike pattern, because if you're not hitting out of the middle every time, which not many people are, forgiveness wise, you might see a big drop off.